reporting for KD Chats here at the Carlton Cinema in downtown Toronto with actor and founder of the Youth Code, Kalista Zackhariyas. Tell me a little bit about your launch that just happened recently.
Wow, I mean, it was a fantastic event. I'm the founder of, like you said, the organization called the Youth Code, and it's an organization, we're a nonprofit, we're just about to get our charitable status, and we're all about healing through art and movement therapy, and it's about giving children in recovery from abuse that are currently in shelters, that are in foster care and in youth outreach programs, these types of therapies. And so it's a passion project very close to my heart, and this past Saturday on March 16th we just had our inaugural launch, so it's pretty exciting stuff.
Right. And tell me a little bit more about the importance of the arts and athletics as well in terms of overcoming some serious issues from childhood such as abuse.
Well, I mean, I'm a childhood survivor of abuse myself. I was a ward of the Children's Aid at a very early age, and eventually when I gained guardianship of myself, I was this teenager with no real education or money, and quickly found myself homeless and then on and off the streets quite a bit, in and out of shelters. And just along my own path of like recovery and and I call it recovery because it's really tragic emotionally what happens to a child, and healing from that. There is a recovery process. I was very blessed, in the outreach work that I did, and I wanted to reach out to other people that were in similar situations, and I got to talk to people in prisons and psychiatric units and in shelters and outreach programs, and so many of them attributed where they were at that point in their life to childhood trauma. Then I sit back and look at like little nuances in my everyday life, how hard it is to change routines and things that I'm so used to doing, and I sit back and go, well, if trauma is ingrained in your brain and in quite literally your DNA, and all your reactions towards the world are based on that trauma, those perceptions, what kind of a world are you looking at? How do you see this world? And then of course it begs the question, how do you react to it? And then when we have children who are feeling anger and a sense of abandonment, and then they're acting out in society, child abuse ends up costing society in Canada annually over $15 billion. So you sit back and look at it and go, you know what, I think it's time to do something really proactive about it. The arts literally saved my life. They've brought me to where I am today. And I think if it can help me, I think it can help anyone. And, I wish I was an anomaly, but the truth is I'm an everyday story. So there's really a need for this.
And how did you find the arts? What made you, how did that help you?
I found that a lot of times people always wanted me to talk. And I was always this victim, or I was a survivor. Whereas when I was in the arts, I was a dancer, I was an actor, and I could allow myself to go to places emotionally in a public way that through shame or fear that I wouldn't allow myself to go to in everyday life. If a role required for me to grieve, I was able to find that grief within me and bring that out. So even if it's in a theater workshop for a little kid, to be able to give a kid, a little script and coach them and work with them and say, let's work on this. You're not asking them to talk about their trauma, but you can ask them to go to a place where they may not want to talk, but be able to still bring that out. Even if it's going into a dance routine, and to be able to belt out certain steps or certain patterns and move in dance. It's just putting that energy, that stuff that's pent up inside, in such a constructive and beautiful way that they can look back and say, I did that. So now they're not acting out in society. They're giving back to the society in a positive way, and there's so much to take from that.
And you're also an emerging filmmaker. Tell me a little bit about your film that you're currently producing.
Well, I love acting, but hats off to every director I've worked with. I really just wanted to see what my voice as a filmmaker looks like, and very much so emerging. It's my very, very first short film. It's very challenging. There's so many aspects because, there's a sense of responsibility that you have when you're not an actor, because you're responsible for the content you create, and you make the call and when you say cut. And that's really different from, being able to go on and trusting your director that you're working with and knowing that when he or she calls cut, that they've got what they need. So it's really, having a whole different level of responsibility, and I've grown a deeper appreciation for, film and television.
What's the inspiration behind the story of your short film?
Well, it's actually a book that's been adapted into a short, and it's called MEDUSA Among US. And it's a parallel universe of one girl's life. So it's pretty cool. And there's a lot of, fish out of water and, finding yourself type of thing. And, where she identifies with this other character. So it's a lot of fun. I get to play, and that's the great thing about being an emerging filmmaker or making a short film. You get to play and really figure out what your voice looks like.
And where's the best place to find out more information on your short film and you and on the Youth Code online?
Well, I mean, for anybody watching that wants to get behind me or what I'm doing, my personal Twitter handle is @OneKalista. That's ONE Kalista. And for the organization, which I really hope that all of your viewers, definitely reach out and find out more about, it's at the Youth Code, the Youth Code. And you can also, that's the same for our Facebook page as well as our website, so you guys can find out all the information out there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kalista. Congratulations and best of luck with all of your upcoming projects.
Thank you so much for taking the time from me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats here at the Carlton Cinema in downtown Toronto.